We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Everyone, how are you? This is Professor Jamila Franklin, and I have the lovely Cynthia G Thomas, whom I'm going to introduce to you. A native of Chicago, Illinois. Yay! As a single mother with her then 8-year-old son, Pierre, in tow, Cynthia relocated to Atlanta, Georgia in 1994 and has been here ever since. Cynthia is a seasoned, you hear that? Seasoned client services professional with over 30 years of experience serving clients across diverse industries. With a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, her career has been defined by dedication, excellence, and a passion for connection. One of Cynthia's proudest career achievements was co-managing a global communications and high-tech conference for more than a decade, where she had the honor of organizing logistics for top-tier C-suite keynote speakers, an experience that taught her the power of presence, precision, and professionalism. She's an ultimate professional, okay? This amazing, beautiful person, spirit, energy, epitomizes professionalism. When you think of professionalism, you think of Cynthia G Harris. Beyond Cynthia's professional accomplishments, she is deeply committed to personal growth and purposeful living. As a member of Toastmasters International and aspiring singer, I didn't know that. See, every time I have people on my show, there are things I find out. She's so modest, she never told me that. Cynthia developed and used her voice to inspire and affirm many. In 2007, while reflecting on how to celebrate her upcoming fourth decade of life, Cynthia became overwhelmed with gratitude and joy over the many ways in which God had provided for and blessed her life. She vowed to live her life authentically, and she does, and to celebrate every moment to the fullest as her gift back to God. This inspired her to organize the inaugural Celebration of the Decades cruise in October 2007, which brought together 40 plus celebrity family members and friends to celebrate various lifetime milestones and achievements collectively. Another proud highlight of Cynthia's life journey, I like the way she does these things. She does a play on words, includes completing a full 26.2-mile marathon around the island of Bermuda in partnership with the American Stroke Association, a testament to her resilience and belief in finishing what she starts. Now, so she never told me this. See, you bring friends on your podcast and you find out all these secrets, right? Okay, that's what I'm doing. What drives Cynthia the most is her passion for encouraging others to live well, and she does that. Love well and leave a legacy that they will be proud of. She's especially compassionate about encouraging and empowering her grandchildren to strive for and reach their highest potential. Cynthia strongly believes in the power of faith, self-determination, positivity, and is very grateful to be rooted in a loving, supportive family and community. Currently, Cynthia is focused on improving her overall wellness through daily self-care and to also working toward greater financial stability. In her free time, you'll find Cynthia spending quality time with her husband, Kirk, my adopted nephew, family and friends, or engaging in wellness activities that renew her spirit. Cynthia lives by the belief that it's never too late to grow, to dream, or to thrive, and she aims to be a light wherever she goes, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. Okay, without further ado, I know people are like, okay, Jamila, get to good part. Get to Cynthia. We like you. We like you. But get to Cynthia. Okay? Your wishes, my command. Hello, beautiful. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Greetings.
hello, greetings, and I would love to meet that young lady. She is
Well, I have met
really
her and I am so impressed with her.
amazing.
I have met her and I am so impressed with her.
She's
That's the
an
reason why I had her.
inspiration.
I invited her to be on my show because I was impressed with her. So let's go back to your humble beginnings in terms of Chicago. You were born and raised in Chicago, Chi-Town,
Yes,
and a
yes.
family of how many children? How many siblings?
I'm one of 11. I was one of 11, born to a Baptist minister, Simon PK, uh, and just the most beautiful spirit being uh, of a mother who really broke the mold. She broke the mold. When God created her, she broke the mold. So I'm a product of these two individuals. Um, Again, it was 11 of us, 7 girls and 4 boys. And I
Mm,
am 7'11". So I'm number 7 of that 11. It is 9 of us remaining. A brother and a sister preceded and are now an angel, brother and sister. And you can just only imagine, being one of 11, growing up in a household with that many siblings. That again, my mother and my dad had to be really, really gifted, and God touched them especially to be tasked with raising these many children. But it was a blessing. It was always exciting, always busy,
mm,
and given again, I was in the middle, number 7. As a middle child, I had to find my way. As you can imagine, I just, was really, you got to fend for yourself. And we had to pretty much compete for food and attention. And it was just always a lot of love and a lot of teaching moments and
mhm,
growth moments. I love all my siblings dearly. We're step sisters and brothers. So I would say our ages range from uh, to date, the oldest is 66 and the youngest is 31. So a range of about 30 years between our ages. So we were all very, as I said, close, maybe 2 or 3 I think the biggest gap between ages is about 4 years, but the
Mm.
others we're either 2 to 3 years. Some of us is a year apart. So, and growing up in Chicago, Windy City, just really being rooted. I would say being rooted as a preacher's kid, being rooted in you know the Bible and spiritual principles. We really had to hold fast to our values and our beliefs. Again, growing up in the south on the south side of Chicago,
Mhm.
there was a lot to contend with back in the 70s, 80s, with temptation and just the neighborhood. And we had to walk to school. So, uh, modern day now, children, they are driven to school, or they have buses, transportation. But I talk about it all the time, with the winters of Chicago. It could snow 10, 15, 20 inches, and we pushed it aside. We still had to get out and press through and forge our way through snow, rain, sleet, whatever. We still had to press through, and we did not get a ride. We had to walk. So that really taught us resilience. And that's where I
Mhm.
got my strength from, because
Yeah.
we had to endure through those conditions. And we did practice Bible study. So we had a daily Bible study our dad would have with us before we went to school. And that was what I like to call our covering. And he would look at that as covering us and protecting us and shielding us, knowing what we had to go out into the world and face on a daily basis.
Mhm. But that's what I was going to use to the word was resilience, to
Hmm.
say that I've seen that in your life. And you were a, a brave young woman. You left Chicago
Hmm.
as a young mom with your son, knowing no one really here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
And you just said, okay, this is the next chapter in my life. Chicago, I love you. I'll be back to visit.
Yes.
But it's time to push forward, to move on, which was amazing because a lot of young people may not have done that, not having any relatives in place, in the place where they're going. They would be somewhat hesitant. But that didn't stop you. And you got here and you established your own community. I'm part of that community.
Yes.
And it's just amazing. So, what prompted you, resilient woman, to just pack up your things with your young son and leave Chicago?
Well, as a single mother in the big city of Chicago, that was a pretty, I would say, traumatic time for me. And I would say, and I still say to this day, that becoming a mother.
So, being a young mother without having any relatives, so to speak, here, like your family, your close family, what prompted you again? We just want to go over it again, to leave Chi-Town and
Yes.
come to the lovely LA, lovely Atlanta. Out of all
Yeah.
the other cities, why Atlanta?
Well, it came to me. Really, spirit came to me. I had learned that other friends, a couple other friends or family members had relocated to Atlanta and had shared and commented of how family friendly and in particular single parent family friendly Atlanta was, and it just would be a good place for raising your children.
Mhm.
And as I was saying, becoming a teen mom, I became a mother at 17. That was, as you can imagine, a pretty traumatic experience. Although I would do anything to take back, having my son was really the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Although parenthood is just it's a mammoth of a responsibility to do, and then realizing uh, during that time that I would be doing it alone. His father was relocated already and was in school in another state. Um, I said I did not want my son to fall victim to the gangs and a lot of the other temptations that were, courting young Black boys
Yeah.
at that time and in that era. And I also knew, being a single mom, being a teen mom, that changed the course of my educational aspirations at that time, which were to go to college and go away and have that experience, but realizing that God had rearranged my destiny to now be a mom.
Mhm.
I said, well, uh, I would want my son to be positioned to experience what I wasn't able to experience, and that was
Mhm.
to attend an HBCU college and to be able to continue his educational aspirations on course. And again, I wanted to uh, give him the opportunity to try to live a a normal life. And yes, it was a big move because at the time I had actually just been promoted. So here's the situations that were in place were all favorable.
Mhm.
My life was great. I had just received a promotion with the company I was with, the consulting company that I was with at the time. And so everything was going well there. All of my family and friends was residing there in Chicago. So my entire support network was there. And you would ask the question, well, why would you leave? And I just I was tapped, and spirit just said, you I need you to leave. I need you to leave and go to, as the same with Abraham. I recall he was requested to leave his hometown, leave his
Mhm.
land, his family, and go to a land, far away that no one was there that he knew. And that was the same case. And I was at first apprehensive. I just, and also I had even was engaged,
Mhm.
was in a good relationship at the time, and that individual did not understand my decision to just leave. but it
Oh,
was to really explore different living conditions, different opportunities, and just to raise my son in a more, I guess, friendly environment than Chicago. And Atlanta was the choice. I again had heard great things, had heard good things about the living atmosphere in Atlanta, the various opportunities that were there. And so I stepped out on faith. Um, I had probably, my goal was to have a sizable double digit 5-figure uh, amount before leaving. Well, I probably had 3 figures in my bank account when I just decided to leave. Didn't have a place, didn't have my job at the time. I had requested a transfer because we did have an office also in Atlanta as in Chicago. None of that was solidified. My manager at the time, when I went in and expressed to her that I'm relocating. I'm relocating. I've decided I'm going to relocate to Atlanta. They said, okay, well, let me, reach out and see if we can, get you connected. But, there were a few contacts that were made, but nothing was solidified. And various individuals were like, well, Cynthia, are you still going to? I said, yeah, I'm going to be obedient. I'm stepping out on faith. God is telling me that's where I need to be. And sure enough, I left on faith, rented a one-way cargo van. I took my bed, pretty much, a few furnishings, and my son in tow, and different ones were, mainly my parents were like, well, why don't you, leave Pierre here and you go get situated and then you can come back to get him. And I said, no, I don't want to put that responsibility. He's my responsibility. I don't want to put that responsibility on my parents to raise him. He's going to go on this journey with me. So it was a real bold step. And that was in July of 94. I left Chicago July 24th, and I set uh, foot on Georgia soil early morning, July 25th of 1994. And I have been here ever since. And I moved right into, I was able to, over the phone, I was able to get an apartment situated. So when I drove from 11-hour drive from Chicago to Atlanta, and I actually arrived at about maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, went to the leasing office of the apartment complex, got my keys, and I went directly into a 3 bedroom, not a
wow.
one, not a two, a 3 bedroom duplex, pretty much apartment over in Avondale Estates. It actually was on the outskirts of Avondale Estates off
Oh,
of
wow.
Bermuda Drive, yes. And didn't have, as I said, didn't have a job in place. I did have an appointment set up, some things I was able to do. I did have an appointment set up with an employment agency, which they did secure me a temporary job assignment. So I was able to start work right away. Then I got my son enrolled in Avondale Elementary School. And it was as if everything had been just set and put in place,
Yeah.
and I didn't skip a beat. So
But
God,
see, that's when you know you're living on purpose and you are in alignment with
yeah,
your spirit, because that's what happened. And also what happened was that you had the determination of Harriet Tubman. You know, that's my icon. She's my
yes,
hero.
yes,
You know,
yes,
people are telling her, oh, it's impossible, you can't do this. But that's how we, as women of the African diaspora, function and roll. You tell us we can't do something, and we're like, okay, we're like water. We may not go straight at it. We're going to go around it and under it, but it's going to be accomplished. But it's so amazing. So you came here, didn't have a job, didn't really have a place to stay, but secured your apartment, didn't have really close family members, but you came anyway, enrolled your son in one of the top schools in this area. Avondale Estates is a very high-end area. So then you work for this temporary employment agency. But see, in the back, something was pushing you through. For me, I always believe in the power of spirit of the creator of the universe and Yeshua and the ancestors paving the way, opening doors for us that we don't even know are there, and just making it very easy and smooth. So when people say, well, I did this on my own, there's no such thing.
Oh, no,
There's
no.
no such thing. People help you, and on the invisible side, the angels, the ancestors are working overtime, especially when they have a determined young woman like you who's saying, I'm not going to let limitations stop me. I create my own world in my own reality. So they have to work doubly because most people give up. They're like, oh, that's Cynthia Gray's not going to give up. So we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and get in there to help her because she's not going to give up. And that's what being resilient is all about. So, okay, let's segue. You found the job, you found your apartment. So how did you get to the next stage of your career?
So when I started working with the company, it was actually GE. I was working with GE, and they were actually about to extend me a permanent offer. I received a phone call from the partner that I worked with at the consulting firm that I was with in Chicago when I left. She called me and she said, how are things going? Are you? I said, yes, I'm settled and everything so far is going well. And she said, well, my role has changed and I am now going to be the marketing director over the communications industry group. And the managing partner that I will be working with is based in Atlanta.
Wow.
And I would love for you to join my team. Are you interested? And of course, I said, well, I when do I interview? When do I go meet with him in an interview? She was like, this is the interview. Your
What?
response is the interview. So all you have to say is yay or nay. And so, yeah, so the beautiful part or aspect of that is when I informed this partner that I was planning to relocate to Atlanta, while she was saddened and a little bit disappointed because she's like, gosh, I just hate to lose you. Um, I was actually going to just resign from the organization. And at that time, I had been with them for 4 years. And she advised me no. So this is spirit. This is how spirit works.
Mhm.
Because I wasn't familiar with those processes and what to do. And
Right.
he said, no, you don't want to resign. She said, what we're going to do is, now here is my boss, I'm leaving her, pretty much her team, and I was supporting her. So instead of her feeling like, okay, well, go find your own way, and She said no. Let's go ahead and do a FMLA. You know, it'll be
Mm,
unpaid, so we can protect your tenure.
mm.
And so I did. And when she called to offer me the position in Atlanta with her team, she basically, it was just a matter of a little paperwork that needed to be done and filled out because I was still technically still employed. I was just on a leave of absence. And so then once it was secured, this new position, it was secured that I would be performing in that role. Um, I was still as 4 years. So it, versus me starting
Um,
all over in a new position, new department, new area, it was able to be a continuation. So that, and that was still in, at the time, it was the marketing and communications area.
mm,
And that's when I began supporting in the role of pretty much a meeting coordinator. And that's when I started working on this conference that would then be for the next 10 years. And yeah, so that's where I garnered a lot of my experience. It was a global conference, so there was international travel involved. And I pretty much worked with some pretty distinguished CEOs, to just name a few. Steve Ballmer of Microsoft. So I work directly with those executives, key offices to manage all of their agendas, logistics, their itineraries in association with this global conference that we managed for over 10 years. And yeah, and now who has just recently been named the wealthiest man, Larry Ellison of Oracle. Had the distinct privilege of even working with his office and shaking his hand. So who knew I would? I shook hands and worked with who would, in the next 20 years, become the wealthiest man in the world. So just to name a few, those were some of my um, memorable and cherished experiences in my professional realm. But just being able to press through and persevere and know that it's never what we go through, it's never what happens to us in this life. It is always how we respond and handle. And my response to, it could have been devastating. This was my senior year of high school, and I realized I was pregnant. And I, at that moment, had a choice. I could have just decided to drop out and just really just, go through a real setback. But
mhm.
Spirit said, no, I have better things for you, and you
Mm,
will make it through this. You will make it through this. And so that experience really just kind of birthed in me
yeah,
a strong desire to never give up on what you desire and what you
yeah,
seek to do in life, and press forward, and knowing that this too shall pass, and you'll come out on the other side. You'll come out on the other side. So that was a big piece of me, just loving well, deciding to love my son, to love myself, and to love life.
yeah.
Love life.
And I think what's really amazing and really inspirational is that you're not talking from theory, you're talking from lived experiences.
Yes.
So when young women feel despair when they are young mothers, if the father is not participatory, they can see from your example, oh yeah, it's not the most preferred position, but you can make it through and your life doesn't stop because others
Yes.
would join in. There are other people who would be mates that you can uh, share your life experience with.
Yes.
And sometimes people feel like it's all over, but it isn't. You can't
Yes.
listen to the news, especially when it comes to young Black mothers. They paint a very dismal, stereotypic picture of young Black mothers, and none of which is true. If only a small percentage may fit into the stereotype. So I'm just really impressed. And so you worked your way up the ladder to be like a very prominent employee.
Yes. I was a meeting manager. I ended up um, advancing to being a meeting manager where it was pretty much more so with the same industry. But yeah, and I then became, I started working directly with clients in their programs, managing their programs, managing their events, managing their um, basically their projects as well as their department initiatives, their key initiatives. So just managing all aspects in those various arenas. And I did that for probably close to, I would say 20 years. So the last pretty much 20, 25 years uh,
Mhm.
in that capacity.
And you've excelled at it. And at the same time, something sparked within you to do cruises, family cruises. What brought you to that realization? Because I know you're very busy in your professional life. So what, as I said, sparked the interest in you in terms of the travel business?
Well, as I was nearing my 40th birthday celebration,
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to do something unique. And I had the experience of doing a cruise with a very dear friend of mine. And it was just a beautiful experience to do that. And I wanted to do something unique than just, okay, I know everybody does have a big birthday celebration for the 40th. That's a milestone birthday. And I know I wanted to spend it with family and friends and do something that would just be very celebratory and a milestone. And I had really enjoyed my experience of cruising. And I said, why not, just maybe bring the family and friends together to do a
Mm-hmm.
cruise. And then as I was reflecting on um, the blessings, and how God had really just opened doors in my life, I just was very humbled, with that. And then I thought, this will be a new experience for me, but it's going to also be a new experience for family and friends as I started to, share and promote the cruise with others. Everyone was so excited, and a lot of people, this was going to be their first experience. And I said, well, I want us to, everybody can just, travel together and do, but I wanted to do an entire itinerary of the entire time we would be together. I then decided we were going to do a workshop on board. We were going to do a swim contest. And then I said, well, as I learned the various family members and friends and the different things that they were celebrating or had celebrated, milestones that they had crossed, I said, why not just open this up and make this more than just celebrating my birthday? Let it be an opportunity for everyone to celebrate, various milestones or um, events, like perhaps someone never took that honeymoon, they wanted to take, or someone recently graduated and didn't get a chance to celebrate, or other people had, recently experienced or would be experiencing milestone birthdays in the same year or in that same time period. And so then I decided to just call it the celebration of the decades. And then I said, and everybody that attends, I'm going to call them celebrities. And I'm going to call them my version of a celebrity, quote unquote celebrity, because I feel a celebrity, a true celebrity, we know the celebrities in Hollywood and LA and those that are celebrities by fame. But I say, one who celebrates life should be regarded as a celebrity. It's one who celebrates life. And this will be an opportunity for all to celebrate various accomplishments and achievements. Oh, everybody got very excited about that. And so then I said, let me just find out, what would you be celebrating, And we had that began this whole personality and awards recognition program where I created certificates acknowledging the various celebrations and achievements. So if somebody was celebrating their 50th or 60th or 40th, or someone had recently graduated, or someone had recently gotten married, or just whatever the life event was, I acknowledge that. And so it just made it a memorable once in a lifetime event. And of course, that was just such a huge success. And as I said, over 40 family members and friends joined this cruise. It was like a 3 or 4 day cruise. We went to the Bahamas, Nassau, and it was just amazing. And everyone was just like, we have to do this again. So that was in 2007. And since then, I think we've had about 6. I've done about 6 those celebrity, what I like to call the celebrity cruises. And so everyone looks forward to them, because as so much has happened, over the years. And so much change. So it's just a great opportunity. So yeah, so that's where the inspiration came to do that, was just wanting to do something unique and different for my birthday. And I ended up just opening it up so that everyone else would feel special as well, and be able to be highlighted for the accomplishments that they've made in life.
Well, you're just a natural events planner, organizer, strategist. And I truly admire that in you. So if people would like to get in touch with you to find out about some of the other things that are bubbling within themselves, and you are such an inspiration, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they could reach me directly through email. And it's my brand, Sensational, after my namesake. So it's CYNSATIONAL, wellness. And it's all one word. So Sensational Wellness at gmail.com. And you can also just, like I said, just, send me an email, or you can view. I do have a profile on LinkedIn, So you can view my LinkedIn profile, and that would be under just my name, Cynthia Gray.
Mhm. Wonderful. So, over, you mentioned, or we mentioned that you are a grandparent, a
Yes,
very doting
yes.
and proud grandparent. So let's talk about the grands.
Well, I have three biological grandchildren. They are Kayla, two granddaughters. Kayla, who is uh, just turned 10 years old, and then Paris, who is 8 years old, and then little Pierre Jr., we call him PJ. He is about to turn 2 years old this coming Friday. And then I am blessed to also have three bonus grandchildren, and their ages are also 8 years old, Zion and Aria, who is 7 years old, and then little Brielle, who is 4 years old. So there's five actually, four granddaughters and two grandsons. So,
Oh,
uh,
I see.
and they're a joy. They're just a joy, and I just want to make sure that they're part of my legacy, and
Yeah.
so I am mindful of what I do, and am always encouraging them to strive to be their best, and I try to be that example, and just to be there and be a part of their lives and be a part of their growth. And it's a priority. All of their activities and uh, different pursuits that they're involved in, be it dancing and playing sports, running track, and just spending time. I generally set aside a weekend out of every month that is affectionately called Weekend with Granny. And they look forward to that, where it's an entire weekend beginning with Friday afternoon all the way up to Sunday afternoon. And that's just a way to give their parents a break.
Mhm.
And for me to just have that quality time with them, and to just watch them and enjoy them and enjoy
Yeah.
them.
Because they grow up so fast.
Yes,
You
they do.
know, those little tiny babies, the next thing you know, they're teenagers. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's really, really wonderful. And you're an energetic, inspirational, marvelous role model to uh, as a grandmother, because you set boundaries and priorities with them. At the same time, you enjoy life with them. You allow them to be children. And so
yeah,
you're a fun grandmother. That's amazing.
yeah.
Yay!
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You're youthful grandmother and
Yes.
fun. Yeah, full of
They
fun.
say the children are the spice of life, and they say that the blessed is the man what who's they're the arrows of life. Rather, children are the arrows of life, and
Mhm.
blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They keep you young, and they keep you active, and they keep
Yeah,
you, really, they do,
yeah,
they keep you energetic as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. So, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience, the remaining few minutes that we have?
Well, just that, we are living in uncertain times, and it can be, it can be challenging, uh, especially as change takes place that we sometimes don't always expect. We may desire and dream and pursue for things to go a certain way in our lives, and to not give up, to just be able to know that again, it's not, what we go through, but it's always how we respond to that, and to know that it's never too late. It's just never too late to achieve and to go after what you desire, and know that God has begun a great work in you.
I
And
love
the
that.
work that He's begun in us, He is faithful to complete it to the end.
Yeah, I
So,
love that. I love that. And that you are no mistake. And I tell my clients and tell people, you know how special and unique you are. There's no one who's going to have your fingerprints, even if you
yes,
are an identical twin. So
yes,
you have that connection and that special place with the creator of the universe, and no one is going to be like you. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.